And we back, maybe? I think we're back. Man, that was weird, because like the stream crashed, but OBS was still showing green light, like it was fine. It said disconnected, but there was a green light on it that usually means it's just fine. So it doesn't usually end the stream so abruptly. I'm sure we'll be back, yeah. Yeah, no, my internet just goes down randomly and for no explanation. And I don't know if it's... I think it's more to do with my TP-Link things, because I just went downstairs, unplugged the one from the router, and plugged it back into the wall. And then it was fine. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. It's my power link things that just seem to keep breaking, which is a shame because they were so good for so long. I think I'll have to get new ones or something. Or maybe it's the electricity in the house, the wiring or something, just not being great for it or what, I don't know. But it was really good for a long time, and now they just seem to break all the time. Don't know what the crack is. Do not know. Yeah, it's good to be back. Apparently my neighbours think it's good to be back too. Oh, reach Google Play. I wonder why my music stopped as well. Does everything stop? It's like the chat's not said anything in a while. The music's not done anything. Why has everything just stopped? And then... Yep, it's all off. Oh, shut up. What are you beeping at? Christ. It's nothing. The primary method of communication is beeping the horn or screaming at each other. It's mad. I hate my neighbours. Anyway, at least the chat overlay is back as well. There's Twitch. Is Twitch streaming again? With 0 viewers on Twitch. Oh no, 8. Okay, it's cold now. That's so annoying because when that happens when you're streaming, there's no way to neatly stitch the archive together. So you drop like actual connection, like it's now split this into 2 videos, which means if I want to actually make it one complete thing on YouTube, I have to go and actually dig it out and put it back together manually, which is a huge pain. Hopefully we'll avoid that in the future. But who knows, that's the way of the internet, I think. Anyway. I don't know if I did anything meaningful or particularly important while the internet was down. I don't know how long it was down for really even, because it was hard. I only just noticed it had been off, and I don't know how long it had been off for. I think I had been off for like 5 or 6 minutes before I even noticed. Hey, DePills. So, if I hold F2, right, so these are the, I think this is what I was showing off just before I realised the internet was deaded. So we've worked out the areas that we want to cross over at, although that's actually hitting the exact, that doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, yeah it does, it's 384 by 384, that's not where the view is going to be. Right, interesting, let's draw that differently, just to see visually the actual thing. Equals 360. No, yeah, just draw that. Then draw set color C green. Draw like 2 more. That's like y minus 12 plus 12. So that's what we're gonna miss, right? 10 plus minutes I was down. Yeah, it does make, it said like 700 seconds or something like that, so maybe. Yeah, so this green area is, yeah, that's actually where that's the cutoff point for the camera, or where that's going to be. So I think if I set the camera back to regular thingy now, we should see the green ones, but not the thingy ones, right? So that's, yeah, I think this makes sense. 640, 360. Yeah. Hola, Don Papujo. So if I hold F2, yeah, so we can just see the green at the edges of the screen. The way I've done it on OBS, I don't think you can see the green at the bottom, but trust me, it's there. Cool. Cool, now let's redesign this to actually fit it. Because I think we can actually be happy with that now. Which might be an interesting thing for me to include in the grid mask. So if we count like 12 pixels down and do like why is that not drawing anything? Eh? Have I selected? No, there we go. What the? Why won't you let me draw anywhere? Can't even select anything? What's going on here? What on earth? Redo. Close, you. You are the right size still. Edit image. What is going on here? The sprite editor just bust, or am I doing something stupid? It's not locked. Hang on. Oh, grid was on snap, right? So it was, yeah, right. So it was yeah, okay. That's fine. Let's make a super dark. Right, okay, so that does work. How will that work? Cool. Alright, just get to scroll across to here. We want it to come down to 12, yeah, or well, down from that's 0 to 11. Actually, doesn't matter too much if that's off by a pixel. 767. Down to 755. And those areas in between. Oh, and I need one in the middle, right? Or we can just make this by 6, can't we? Six by 6 square. drag that to fit, right? Yeah, transform doesn't really work in the same way in this. Well, we can see the tile, right? 377 to 390, so 377. It actually doesn't matter too much if it's a bit off, actually, that. Well, that should be fine. Because those dark areas now represent the areas that we'll never actually naturally see in a room. I wish I could just shift these up now, but I don't think one can do that. Oh, why offset is a thing. So that's just keep manually adjusting that. It's not really the way to go, I don't think. That's a very hacky, much later on solution. Yeah, I think it is Dust Force, I think, what we're up to now in this bit of soundtrack. Camera can exist there, that's fine. Okay, now let's actually start repainting the map in again. So let's draw this. Do I want to draw the grid mask over everything, maybe? Because the idea is I'm just reducing its alpha, right? Now we'll keep it in the background. It's a little hard to see, but we turn up a bit. Okay. That split is no longer helpful because it doesn't actually divide it in two, but that's fine. In fact, we can. It's tempting to mark that invisible, but can select tiles or select tool you can use. I didn't think it worked like that, but let's look, because if that is a thing, then because you can make brushes, but I don't think you can select tiles, can you? Up at the top of the screen when you're on a tile there. On a tile. Oh, okay. Oh! Oh, I've literally never seen this in my life. Ah, okay. Can I undo? How many undo layers we got? Cool. That changes everything. So can I? Thank you for that. I did not know about that. See, everyone's like, how long did it take you to master Game Maker, Sean? Well, I don't even know this stuff exists. Can you move them, though? Oh, you said you can copy and paste them, right? Ah, and it turns into a brush, right? Of course it does. So that's... It's still not, it still needs redoing, like look at it, the shape does not line up, but we can probably do it a little bit better, so we can probably get it close, and then just adjust it, like that's pretty close. I might bring the player one more in actually, just to give that proper buffer on the outside. Let's do that like there. Player is behind dirt. Do I want the player behind the... I did that because of water reasons, but I think I'm going to turn that back off and bring you back in front. At least for now, because it makes level editing easier. I think I want to move this a bit further. Oh, no, edit, redo. That's super interesting though. I actually had no idea you could do that. So it's a lot, but why did I pick Game Maker earlier? It's just what I've used for a really long time. Like, that's the short answer. There is a longer answer in terms of, like, I really like how Game Maker handles a lot of stuff. But the short and simple answer of it is that it's just quite good. You know, well, the short and simple answer is that I've used it for a really long time and I'm really comfortable with it. Okay, alright, that is about what I want, but like 100, the full thing to the side. So let's do like down by 1, yeah. Let's work from that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I've moved that one down, haven't I? Actually, that's like. There, and go from there. We'll edit from there. But cool, it's nice to be able to get that back. It'll still need loads of reshaping because of how I've done it, but that's preferable to... See, now I know where I'm not going to see. That's really handy. Testing that'll all be interesting. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to sort of work that in the game. In-game level editor would be great for this right now, but that's something to think about longer term, I think. Do I like fighting games? Yeah, I used to play a ton of Street Fighter 4. I was kind of an 09er for the fighting game community. I used to run tournaments. I ran all the locals in the northeast of England for a very long time. Ran the majors in the northeast of England for a long time. I don't really do that stuff much anymore. SF5 kind of was like, and a whole combination of things kind of led to me no longer really doing that stuff. That's I could go on for hours about fighting game stuff, but long and short of it is, yes, I used to play very competitively in Super Street Fighter 4, but now I don't really. I'm kind of a recovering alcoholic and that kind of thing. I've not played Iconoclast. I've heard so many people talking about it though, so maybe I should. When I very first picked it up, I played Blanca for a very long time, and I was really struggling to really... He has too many extreme matchups. Like, he's either extremely favored or extremely unfavored in like all of his matches, and it's just kind of gross. Like, he crushes all the bottom tier characters in the game and gets completely crushed by all the top tier ones. That like, it's too extreme, too hard to play him reliably at a high level. So I ended up picking Chun-Li instead, who favored a lot of how I try and play the game. And I learned how to do leg loops and stuff, and I was doing alright. And then the game just, lots of things happened, and I stopped playing. So let's grab where, oh, we deleted the player. I don't want to do too much more today because it's already 6:30. But we've worked out a lot of good stuff today. A lot of important things. Is the lance in the game? It is. Let's delete it and replace it like here. Let's just get a better feel for how this is now. I love my tutorials, I'm very tired. Glad I could help you, Singer Mini. Thank you for the kind words. 10 years, man, that is time. Thinking of, I do vaguely remember hearing about its development a really long time ago. Was it made in Game Maker by any chance? I'm not actually sure. I think I might know the developer better than I think. Or I might have like interviewed them at one point when I was at Yo-Yo. Okay, and that's where like the collapsing is going to be. And the point is you can come through here as well. And it seems like the point of this room would be to show you that there's a thing here you could go and check out. How would you check? Yeah, so you can't get there from the bottom. So it's actually quite a journey of getting to that, of like doing this kind of thing. That's hard, like to go from... Yeah, that's interesting because of how the cursor shifts position instantly when you... Cause look at that, that's like pointing up to instantly pointing super far right. That might be an issue. But you typically won't want to do this kind of thing cross screen. It would be nice to be able to do that. But it looks like that might be a bit of a level design no-no, at least for mouse controls. It'd work on pad, that, interestingly. Can I just... Oh, it almost looks like you can almost... It's like you're literally a pixel off being able to hit that. Unless like frame perfect. Oh, you could do the trick. You could do that. Yeah. Because you jump slightly higher whenever you're wedged on a thing, so you can wedge downwards and just get a tiny bit of a higher jump. That's quite cool, actually. I'll remember that distance if I keep the jump height like this. Probably won't, I don't know. But that would be a good distance to remember level design wise, to know that you can technically make that in a way that most people won't. But to know that it is possible. Joachim Sandberg, yeah, I'm sure I probably have spoken to him before. Using X and A tools though, okay, fair enough. I'll probably just follow him on Twitter or something as well, I don't know what I'm thinking of. There might be certain areas of the game where I don't want it to... What happened to the stream? Oh, earlier it just my internet went down. Let's make that layer invisible because that's starting to annoy me. The collision tiles there we go. Yeah, because every now and again I run it. Does name. In fact, I want to see. It'd be interesting to see how that works with the new Twitch delay, lower Twitch delay thing. Ooh, what happened then? Oh, I must have just fallen down the hole. Skullgirls. Skullgirls wasn't made in Game Maker, was it? Rivals of Ether was. Maybe that's what you meant. It's not no-no because of complexity, but more no-no at the moment because I don't know anything about it, you know? I've made a simple like thing that managed to connect two clients together and send messages on literally the same system without having to actually worry about anything. I don't know. It's probably less complicated than I'm thinking it is, at least to get basically started with netcode and stuff. But I don't know anything about it, so I can't do tutorials on things I don't know about. I have to learn those things first. So I say I have to occasionally do game development like this without doing any tutorials. That's interesting. Right, so there's a bit of a no-no, is having that kind of situation. So if I suggest that you can go up, I need to write like a list of game design, like of level design rules for this sort of setup then. The things I really need to avoid, like that's one of them. Hello from Egypt. Glad to have you here. Star's sad or is it happy? I'm unsure. You can kind of see it both ways, can't you, when it's not animated like that. Yeah, what is it like climbing up here as well? Yeah, you can do that and assume that a thing is going to be there. It can be a bit weird to do that though. I think I want to avoid that if I can. I'm not sure how to though. It's like what Celeste does is like these are like every screen is very contained kind of thing. Mine's a bit less like that, but so like if you came back up through here, you would have like it would have like a one-way platform across here, and it would like sense the transition. It would like give you a bit of extra jump height and make you sort of land on it. So I might just give you like if you jump up through a thing and you've got some vertical height, vertical speed, which you probably will. Just give you a fresh jump from there, just so that you've got some time to land on a thing. Sensing that transition is going to be tough from the well. Not really, but it's... I built the camera to not really have to sense it, because it just sort of checks the player's position. But there's a way in the camera I could check, like, okay, if that's different to what it was last frame, send some stuff to the player and have it do a certain thing. Yeah, just sort of, she just sort of hangs in the air doing a run animation at the moment. Spring thing that jumps you higher? What, you mean like this? That's all very this. But like that doesn't necessarily avoid it, the situation. Right? It sort of does, but sort of doesn't. You know, it's like, because like you're still giving that's still a reaction test there to like do something before the camera ends up doing back, which you want to avoid. You want someone moves off the screen, you assume the player wants to be in that next location, so you want to avoid them being able to just fall back. Even like that's very extreme, but like at all like that happening really. So even that is kind of not amazing. It's not too bad if they go really high up the screen, and maybe you want that as part of a challenge of a specific thing, but that becomes a challenge, you know. So that'd be an interesting thing, like if you jumped up to a thing and you've got to grab a thing to get a secret or something like that, that's fine. But as a general thing in the level design, should like avoid it unless that's your specific intention. It just takes longer to do everything, Balzes. Is the main thing. You start having to tie things in knots and do things. You know, you can write D&D code like almost the exact same way you write GML, more or less now, like in GameMake and GMS2. Like you can basically structure like, and you can like compare it side by side, and like the flow of it and the indentation and stuff, it just looks the same. But it's just, it's not. It might be easier for some people to look at visually and understand, but it's because you've got to click and drag the things. It's slower than just like typing what happens and stuff, and you've got a bit. I want to avoid saying you've got finer control because I don't think that's technically accurate, but it's easier. It is actively easier once you get over the stumbling, you know, the first few walls of learning code. It's just easier to code than it is to use D&D, which seems counterintuitive, right? Surely D&D should be easier, and it is when you don't know anything. When you don't know how to code, yes, D&D is easier. But the moment you learn a little bit of code, suddenly coding is just always easier. Because you just type the thing. Okay, so this is very high up here now. So I think we can trust this spacing. I mean, I've been playing around with it because I just wanted to get used to the idea of having this gap here and decide what the kind of rules are for interacting with this. So I want to avoid situations like that for sure, where like you jump and you headbutt a thing. Let's give you a bit of space there. I think that would maybe be good as well. We'll try that out in a second, but that's... This is going to come down. I wonder what that kind of interaction is like, actually. Like, eventually this is going to be like an underground cave area, I'm hoping. Rather than just grassland, checkered background thing, but a bit at a time, you know. Like, on average, I think we want that to be the ground height, like that 1.5 tile thing, rather than half a tile of the ground like that. And that's a decent rule of thumb. Yeah. Pokemon or Pokeball is an Easter egg. Yeah, that's basically how it works, but yes, it's like it's the same thing. It's totally D&D means you have to drag some boxes, and it's the same thing. Only dragging and drop means you have to drag and drop rather than just write. So I thought that was a bit high up. But I think we should do some stuff like this to make the player use the tool. And that gates them as well. It's just like, it can't come back from there and now until just funnels them towards the bottom. Very open, that as well. I don't think it needs to be. Let's close that off a bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure how I want this interaction to feel yet. Wow, goddamn. No, the overlay. I always worry it's actually GameMaker will stop working with just my overlay crashing. For reasons I still don't really understand. Or I think I definitely want something like that to really show that shape. Oh yeah, I forget you can rotate tiles and stuff, but I never like using that because then it means I have to do more stuff to get at the what's that? The tile index in code. Let's just properly seal this off. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is sealed, but so let's, I'm going to delete the lamps, bring the player to here. And the camera, just delete and replace. Play it like here and see what happens there, see if that actually spawns. It should like, yeah, it should just like, yeah, I'm not sure, it might, yeah, it'll like hover, yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, you don't want to make it sound like you drown yourself in scope, but I guarantee you probably have anyway. That's not even like a put down, that's just what everyone does, man. Everyone's drowned in scope to some degree, we just... There's always a deeper level of being drowned in scope, but no one's ever at the surface. I swear the game's simple. I swear all my games are simple, but they never are. Nah, this really feels like the type of thing where I want an in-game level editor, so I'm just like, but I feel like setting that up for this is not going to be worth it. At least at this point, not with the deadline looming. So do I want this ground to be higher up here? Like, this is really low down the screen here. This gives us very little room. That is, yeah, I don't know what's happened with that coin. I've got a lot to suss with the UI thing. Yeah, I think I want this way more central. Yeah, that is interesting how that camera... It's fine for now, just interesting to see how that works. I almost feel like I want to do something like up here instead of having this whole extra... Like, this whole room is designed just to give you a bit of pacing of walking to the right. Which isn't bad, I guess, actually. I don't know. and then you come over here, and then there's sort of, there'll be a kind of a reveal of the thing you're trying to get into or through. And then we might do some sort of cutscene here and have you fall down like that and splat. Do I want you to land on that though? Or land like down here? Yeah, that'll make more sense. I might trim that down. And then way up here, I can jump up there. What might be interesting there is to do like yeah, it did, doesn't it? As usual, the time it takes for someone to ask usually seems to be about the right time to bring it back. Yeah, it seems to be okay now. Let it get another data. Which it will have done a full ping by now, so it should be okay for a bit. Seems to be random emojis and things that break it, but I'm not wholly sure. Yeah, I really do sometimes feel like I need this over the top of here. I might work with it like that for a bit, just so I can really see what's going on. So I like the idea of you coming around it, building anticipation in that way. It'd be nice if you had to climb back out of the pit, but I'm not sure I can make that work. Maybe. Don't want it to be, yeah, I want it to be more obvious, like that might look like you should be able to jump up. Don't intentionally try and break the overlay. That's just mean. Why would you want to do that? So I think I want to do some like doorways and things that like open and close, and then use these areas to demonstrate sort of simple mechanics. I wonder if there's like an area I can guarantee. Like that is, isn't it? So like you can see the tiny bit of grass at the bottom here, which will indicate that that's where you can jump up to. It's gonna be some interesting issues with this that I hope are solvable. I think I'll pass on the Pokeball for now, but thank you. No, but I do have a separate tutorial on that Battlezase. It's quite long though. I have a follow-up one that shows you how to do slopes with tiles and everything. Or you can just go buy it as well. I think I have like $2 or something like that. You can just go buy the source code of it. SeanJS.hio. Right, I think I wanted this to be higher up, don't I? I think we wanted that as a rule of thumb at least. Like the minimum ground height, but we'll see how it looks. We might want it to be even higher. And this can be kind of like a tutorial-y zone, and then eventually leads out into a main hub. And I think we typically want to build up and left because those are the easiest areas to. Oh no, down and down and right, exactly the opposite of what I said. Because those are the easiest ways to expand the map. But we can get pretty high up here as well. And thanks to this select and thing on here, it's actually not totally inviolable to just shift the map around now, which is good. Why did you just say that? I answered your question, Battlezase. No, I don't do that in the My First Platform game series. Well, you just paste the question again and add 100 question marks. How rude. That would be rude even if I didn't answer your thing, but I already answered you. We're gonna get it again in all caps in a minute. Okay. It's okay. Battlezase. I mean, you're not forgiven, but it's okay. Here would be a cool area to sort of disclose some extra cave network stuff as well. I just had something in here that showed just like a note to self kind of thing. This would be a cool area to. Let's on the lens layer. A lot of people like I think you're the third person who asked this. See if this like that's not a problem, by the way. I know people come and go and they don't hear things, etc. Like my answers are the same every time. I'm just surprised at how common it is as a question. Like, what do you mean by learn code? You know what? I guess what you're trying to get at is how long does it take to get to a point where you feel comfortable writing games. But like, it's kind of hard to answer. But the answer is sort of irrelevant to any reason you could be asking that. Because like what are you really trying to get at there? Like, are you like, oh, I want to start making games, but I don't know if it'll take me too long to learn code, or like, you know, how much time am I going to put into this before I can make something? And that varies way too much depending on like the scope of what you want to make. Let's skip this. I love this music, but it just always comes at a time when I don't want that level of intensity. It depends on the scope you want, the thing you want to make, and the advice, there's no solid advice to give unless I knew exactly what you were trying to do. Well, infinity's easier because I don't always, I don't know that white type's going to work. There's stuff I'll remember stuff over time, but that's going to vary from person to person, vary from technique to technique. Some things are easier to remember than others, and so on. You just, what is it you're really getting at? Like, you know, presumably you're asked because you want to learn code, and you're like, oh, how long would it take me to learn code? But no one can really answer that, and it just, if you want to do it, get started. You know, get started as early as you can. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. There's no way anyone can make a forecast for you and say, in 2 years' time, you will know how to make a dream game or whatever. It's an unanswerable question. But even if you could answer it, the answer probably just wouldn't matter. Kind of, yes, but it depends on the thing. Like, a lot of things can still just be, there's plenty of things that I don't know how to do. There's plenty of things I know how to do today, I might not know how to do tomorrow, I might forget. And then, because I haven't done that in a while, I haven't practiced that particular thing in a while, and yeah, it's starting to translate to how efficiently can I do this, but that's not even necessarily about efficiently, it's so much as how modularly can I do it, how well can I make it fit with everything else, how well can I structure this, and so on. It's just, it's too hard to break these things down into really simple chunks. Yeah, like LERP, exactly, right? I learn some of the most basic things every day. Like, I didn't even know you could do tiles. Like, you could select tiles in the room editor. I'd never seen this bar of tools that was at the top in the room editor on tile layers like this. I've never seen any of this before. Someone in the chat pointed out, and I was like, oh god, I've never even seen that before. I know it's hard because you want to, but I don't know. I just find it really tough to answer those kind of questions. So I'm more interested in what. A couple of ulcers in the back of my throat, and whenever I drink it. So I'm always trying to ask, like, work out what people are really getting at when they ask that. Like, are you interested in learning code? Are you worried that it will take you too long? Are you worried you're too old to start learning code? Are you worried that you've got other things you want to do? Are you worried you're going to lose motivation? Like, what's the real thing you're trying to get at when you ask that question? Because I doubt you just wonder out of curiosity, like, how long does it take to someone to learn? You surely asking because it's relevant to something in your own head, right? So what is it? Oh, I don't have any main object or anything that's just gonna have camera and stuff, but they're not really. This destroys itself at the end of this thing, doesn't it? Maybe I just change O in it to be O game and never destroy it. Oh, I don't think I do anyway. No. Oh yeah, but then draw does that and room go to next. You can put that anywhere in the code and that still works, or does it just work and saved or updated that yet? Divided by 100,000, oh, a million, right? Yeah. Just get that every frame, then we can just refer to that global. Which I think is probably faster than running the get timer function. It's hard to be sure. Probably slower for all I know, but meh. Yeah, that's right. Send that. You are a... I don't know what port or plate actually means in French. Boom, 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 boom. Thanks, CSS. I am the door. Oh yeah, I knew door. Yeah, door from people who did the French translation for another perspective. Je ne parle pas français. Mon français n'est pas bon. Okay. I was gonna have like a P entity thing, didn't I? Which I do. P children peekabab. It's a marshmallow and the player is part of it. Ooh, I don't know if I want to include the player in that. A lot of things tie into the player. We'll leave them in for now. And we're gonna have to make a lot of these things children of it as well, actually. Yeah, that never worked how I wanted it to either. No problem, Trollocs. Not right now, Tarot Hot TV. I'm barely managing to get the work done I'm already trying to do. Collision with player. X, Y, player, oh, Lance. Let's not be fancy for now. We'll probably want to do a whole cutscene and thing around this, but function first. Thanks, zombie virals. I'm glad you managed to make it, that's cool. Still need to think about how I want to do that scene. There. This comes across. It's a little. The jump and stuff just makes us a little, like, getting into that gap's just a little bit awkward, so I might just say you've just come in here, so I might trim that roof. Just the jump height and stuff just like feels like it's not designed for the character, you know? It takes a while to get used to your jump heights and things and what. I might lower the basic jump height. Keep the spear stab one as it is, maybe. Probably not have those on screen at this point in the game either. Oh, can't get up that. I thought I could get 3 up actually. I can't, can only make it up 2. Okay. That's interesting. I really thought I could do a thingy one, but... Oh, no, yeah, it is 2, because I remember from earlier. Two tiles is the jump height right now. Question is, should it be? And if so, should that just be a 2-tile thing and a 2-tile thing? Or what, you know? Be careful about just making it bumpy and random for the sake of making it cave-like, you know? It's tough. It's where, like, I might make it more square and then bring in things like... Because I think I want to make it not this dirt texture, because it's making me kind of try and draw it like a cave rather than draw the areas and just think about it as a block out. that is kind of a crappy hitting it off the ceiling kind of thing. So you can't get out there right any other way. I kind of want to take the throw off you at the start though. I sort of do Notorious MVP, but the game just dynamically reads my tile layers and fills the collision layer with stuff that is based on this, because I'm never going to want... Well, if I wanted, like, these tiles that you could walk through, then I could just put them on a different layer. So I have different layers of different things, but I do just read all this into the collision, because why not, you know? Yeah. Oh, you can actually make that jump, that's quite cool. Yeah. Thing is, if you miss that jump though, you fall all the way back down here, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I don't know how... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about climbing. The transition when you climb generally. It's almost like I should only use this kind of like transition thing for vertical, for horizontal spaces and certain stuff, and like maybe make this a connected thing or something like that. I only went down for like 10 minutes, Blanto. My internet went down. Yeah, like coming down, yeah, that's not good when you come back in this way. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, does this kind of camera really support the gameplay I want? Lots to think about. Because in some ways it really does, and in other ways less so much. I like the ability of this to show things off the edge in neat ways like that. But like maybe in this area I could tie it vertically, for example, so like it vertically follows the player the whole way down this bit. Like when you come to there, it like starts following it from the player. The thing is, if you start shifting the camera around all the time, the problem is you're aiming based on where the cursor is. So you kind of want it to be consistent one way or the other, and having little things that move the camera around might screw at that. Jumping up there just feels awkward. Like that is just, and you almost make that, but you don't quite. It's an interesting jump arc we've got. I like the feeling of the jump arc as the thing. Generally. It's the 32 by 32 grid is very chunky and hard to. I mean, it's theoretically possible I can make it a smaller grid, like 16 by 16, but I don't know that that's gonna feel better either. Alright, it's coming back, you can jump on it. Well, it comes back really quick at the moment though, is the thing. That would be a very different thing to do. The quickest, simplest, cheapest way to do that, astronauts, is to use the animation end event, which is in events other animation end. And then when the animation ends, you can say, is my sprite index the animation that was playing? If so, go back to regular animation. And then just make sure when you set the animation in the first place, you set image index to 0, so it probably starts from the beginning of the animation. Let's just... Nice place to allow that arc to nicely happen. This area is hella gross, so let's see if we can make it better. Yeah, you're not going to lose mouse going upwards. I think upwards can work. Oh my god, should I fix the stupid coin thing so people stop going on about it? Why is the coin spinning that fast though? Oh, because it no longer has a sprite, right. Yeah. Spelled that right. There you go. No idea, Giles plays. How does this feel? That felt a lot better off the bat. Yeah, that's way better. Don't know how I feel about having to have those kind of long horizontal jumps, though. It feels like I'm not going to be able to use the limited space I've got on each grid if I make everywhere be like that. might need to sort of reduce the jump height a bit. After all, we want you to use the climbing, right? But that also makes it harder to climb. Well, at this very beginning bit it does. No ideas, yes. It's a weird question everyone keeps. I guess it feels like a typical thing to ask. People just want to ask things, but like, I don't know. Like, look at it. Does it look like there's much here? Yeah, you know, it's not exactly a finished game. I don't know, I guess a lot of developers maybe plan that stuff out better than I do, but like, this really isn't that, I don't know, I haven't thought about it hard enough. How does this area even feel as well? Like, you come up here. It's okay, I feel like probably still want to abide that rule of thumb of having that layer here. But typically if you... even if you're clicking like as soon as possible, some people like to put like that. Yeah, it works. That's a little... hitting your head on there kind of thing. Yeah, I think I need to restrict the player's movement a bit more. Like, I love the like the fast flowiness of it at the moment, but finally shaved. Yeah, I did. Not long really. Jaws plays like LD, not Legendary even, GM, the last GM48. So like the 2 days of that. And then, I don't know, I've been working on it off and on random little streams and stuff to add more to it. Probably like another 12 hours on top. And then like today, so I don't know, you add it up to like 60, 70 hours or something. I've worked on this. Kind of hard to say. I know you've got the stats in Game Maker, but like, probably in the project as well. Project use time, 6 days, 16 hours, but like, so that implies 7 days worth of time on it, but a lot of time I just leave it open and go do other things, or like it'll be open and running on my computer for like 3 days and I won't even looked at it or some shit. Like, you know, it's kind of like looking at your World of Warcraft play time, and you know, a lot of how much of that time is just standing around in Ironforge, you know. Or Orgrimmar, you know, whatever. Let's toy with the player settings a bit. Maybe we should toy with them in the game, actually. Oh, and it's harder to play with them in the game because of that calculation. Thing is, I seem to remember gravity affecting other things than just the jump height, and I don't remember what they are now. So let's maybe reduce this to like tile and a half or something, well, less than that so it's clearer, so like 42 in the same amount of time. So that's basically just going to reduce our gravity, I think, as well, isn't it? But I can change the jump time as well. So then, yeah, you can't do that anymore. Oh, you can do that though. Still got a lot of that vertical that horizontal distance, which is good. I want that. I want that to be so you can make nice big leaping things. Yeah, I won't be able to do this anymore. I think I want to reduce jump time by a bit. It's nice being able to play with just those values though and get exactly like, this is how long I want it to take kind of thing. So that's much higher gravity. So the thing with that is it also affects how fast you fall off of a thing, right? So it's just like, whoa. That feels quite high. Oh, that was a really sharp difference between those two actually. I suppose it's time to reach peak, isn't it? Rather than time to complete the whole jump. How long you've wasted. You can check how long you've had the project open. Yeah, and I've had mine open for doing videos and stuff as well. By going to just project settings, I think. Is that at the bottom of the screen? I don't know, because I don't really know when you asked that. Okay. That's too tight of a jump for this early, but I wonder if that's even, yeah, I don't know if that's still makeable with the spear or not. What's interesting is I could calc that in the step event and then like refactor that to the create step when I want to release. Yeah, maybe as well Bowser's. That's kind of a minor thing for now though. Might do that just so that I can thingy. Okay. Cool. Let's clean up this level a little bit. Oh. How you doing?
Good. How was your game?
Alright. Starting to kind of block out the actual level design for PokeyPoke. So we got kind of a little bit at the beginning here, there'll be kind of like a mountainy thing, and like a little hint of an area you can climb up to later. There'll be like a door here, with like a buttony thing that you'd have to eventually throw the spear at to kind of open, but you won't be able to do any of that right away because you won't even have the spear. There'll be like a bridge or something or other here that you'll end up falling down. You fall down, donk, into here, and as you fall in, you fall through this area because the camera like is in grids now. You fall through here, and you can see this as you fall past, which is like, kind of interesting. Come down here, you jump around here. You can't get up there from how high you can jump. You can fall down here, and then the spear is going to be there, and you can kind of get it. You come around to get it, and then you can kind of climb your way back out.
That's like a little story of how you get the spear now. That's really cool.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm trying to kind of build is that up to a point through here, which will then have some sort of playing the gamey bits, and then lead into like a like a hub area kind of thing, and then just some sort of world in each kind of direction, and that's kind of it. That's like my whole scope of the game.
Sounds really fun. It's almost like Spyro in the end, where you kind of pick the portals.
Yeah, it's kind of just going to be a little like non-linear collectathon type of thing.
Sounds fun. Why do they need to collect the things?
I don't know. Yeah,
we haven't decided yet. Okay.
That's just where the dopamine comes from. So
I
haven't really decided yet, but I need to clear
the reward.
Yeah, to just do this and this first because I've changed the jump height.
Right.
So I need to make this a bit more actually climbable.
Oh, you do it then. That looks really fun though.
I'll show you in a second though.
Okay.
See how that is. So now I'm just playing around with the core numbers of how high you can jump, how high tiles things are, and spacing out all this level design nonsense. So like, yeah, it's like I haven't having doubts about whether or not the camera is going to work like this, but it's kind of doing this sort of thing.
This is what it's doing at the moment, yeah. You can't go up there yet.
No, but you get to sort of see it as you go past, kind of thing. There'll be like a door here, and it's probably be reshaped a bit. And
interesting
so on, so
things.
Yeah.
Door. Oh, gasp.
Here, which will be like a cavey type thing.
Yeah. The only way is down.
Yeah. I'm just not sure how I like that shape in there either, but. That's a lot of jumping, so I don't know how I feel about that, but you get that, which will probably do a whole thing, and then you can suddenly do that.
Yeah,
and I'm probably going to not let you do that for a while, so that you're forced to learn how to do this first.
Yeah. So like stagger it a little bit.
Yeah. And then the thing in that area is just like foreshadowing some other area of the game or something.
Exciting bits.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can still make this jump, but you can just.
That is a very high learning curve.
Yeah, you don't have to come this way though.
Right, okay.
Like there's that area here that you could see, and then when you come here, if you did, that reminds you of the only other way to go, which is like that way, right?
Just either way, you know where you're going. Oh. Quite good at this video game stuff, aren't you?
We get there.
You will.
Yeah, it's bits like that. I'm just not sure if the camera thing really supports how the game is going to work. But I know some areas I'm going to want it to work differently. So like this whole area, I might tie when you're in this tunnel, tie it so it vertically follows the player.
Yeah.
Until you actually get out of here, but I need to think about how that wants to work. And when you get up here, I might just hover like the button for throwing it above your head or whatever. So like, oh, what do I do if I press that? And, oh, it does this thing where like time slows down or whatever. Or even if they just tap it, they'll be like, oh, okay, it throws the thing.
Yeah.
And then you get it back. And eventually it'll be like some sort of big obvious button thing here, and you went bonk, and then door opens and you can carry on.
Hooray! How do you get your spear back then?
You right click again. You just press the same button.
It's like a boomerang spear.
Yeah.
Cool. I was just wondering if people would realise that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
fair enough. Something to think about later.
Yeah. I might just keep, you throw it and then you might just keep the button hovering over the head. It's like, oh, great. or even just hover it above the like you throw it and then it just appears. The button would just appear above the spear itself, kind of thing. It's like a that's all there is at the moment. So
to do more levels.
That section needs blocking out properly, and then this section, and then the rest of the game, and I just yeah. I'm just trying to block it all out. I want to change this to a more generic, like, grey cube something or other, just so I'm not confusing myself into thinking it's all grassland and dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Block it all out, decide what each area actually needs to look like, and go from there. I've got about 3 weeks, so...
Plenty of time. You built the first game in, like, what, 48 hours?
Yeah.
So... yeah. Oh no, this one was 72, wasn't it?
No, it was 48. This was a GM48 game.
Was it?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Lundari.
Which one was that?
So it was a GM48 game maker, a 48-hour jam thing. They don't have a 72-hour variant for that.
Because I thought you bought the art store.
I didn't buy anything. A guy helped me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I reached out over Twitter. I was like, I don't have time to do all this thing. Can someone come and help do the thing? And there was a guy who did the artwork, and also the other guy did music for it.
I'm getting confused then.
Yeah.
Do too many things.
Yeah. But I think I'm about done for today.
Oh, that's really good.
Because it's about 20 to 8.
Yeah, it is. You can pay attention to the cat for a bit.
Ah, right. So yeah, thank you. Well, that was good because I got to summarize everything we did today for y'all. So
Nice.
thank you all for stopping by. I'm gonna head off. Well, I'll piano us out. I've not done that in forever. It's gonna be a fun thing. But thank you all for stopping by and joining me work on this thing. I'm going to be doing this a bunch over the next few weeks. I'm not doing any videos this week or next week or the week after that. I'm just going to be doing streams, and, well, I'm not doing video tutorials anyway. I'm just going to be doing some streams and work on PokeyPoke and some retrospective stuff and slightly different content to what I would usually do. And yeah, so expect me to be doing more of this kind of stuff throughout the week. Let's see if I can. I have to shift this to here. Oh no, is that gonna work? Is that gonna? I can turn this. Maybe. We can kind of see the banner there. Okay. No, motivating to you. I'm glad. Stretch this over here and turn this up. Cool, I think that's audible. Thanks to you and friendly Cosmo, I understand more about coding. Good, I'm glad. That's cool. Glad to hear it. I mean, you can't really see me on that, but whatever. You don't really need to. I play the same thing. So much. I haven't even used this piano forever because it's stuff all over it. Yeah, there we go. Remember the rest, so that's going to have to do this time. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.